Hey, welcome back. Today I want to talk to you about something that is very active, something that I'm actually going through right now. And I'm actually kind of glad that it's happening now because since I have been documenting what has been going on for the past couple of days, I am going to be able to better illustrate you how what happens during gang stalking and the effects that it has on your perceptions and on your way of seeing the world. So just to recap, the last videos I made were about relapsing, and then how I figured out that I was being indirectly manipulated into consuming drugs and into having even more sex by the act of the gang stalkers agreeing to hook up with me, and then not giving me satisfaction and giving me more drugs, and even tried to put drugs inside my ass, and pretty much putting videos and pretty much indirectly influencing me into becoming a total and utter mess. Now, I I do not think that they are 100% responsible. I am like 90% responsible because in the end, I who just have to be like, no, not today, and then just cut it off, which is exactly what I did this time. But when I didn't know what was going on, everything that they did on me worked. Like they literally tired me up by having me, thrust and thrust, and then when I was about to finish, they just squeeze their butt in such a way that my erection would go down, or they would just start talking or things, so to really frustrate, interrupt, and build up not anxiety but more lust, and building more lust to such a height that uh, to that it would be enough for me to, excuse me, it would be enough for me to just go and look for more. So now that I figured out what it was, I began looking online, on the online apps. I began seeing it all different. So I went online, and sometimes, well, a lot of times, I would get people to text me or to message me on the apps with random things. So like sometimes I would get a mouth blowing smoke. Other times as I would get just like big black dicks. I would get just all sorts of messages, and people would just inquire, oh, what do you like to do, and this and that. So a lot of those things were purposely done to have my mind moving in the direction that would push me to engage in that type of behavior. So, so, and not only that, but people that I will text with. So, for example, one of my of I don't want to, I guess one of my acquaintances or play buddies, he literally just sent me a message. Hey, how's it going? Good. And then he just sent me, and then he told me, oh, I just came from Palm Springs. It was such a good time. So it can that message can seem very innocent, but Palm Springs is known for being the mecca of drug use and sex. Um, and so that's everything. That's all he said. That was the conversation that him and I had. So there was like no intended purpose. Uh, when you look at it from uh, when you try to analyze it, like the conversation had no particular purpose. He didn't even say, "Oh, I just called to say hi to see how you were doing." Nothing. He just said, "Hi, how are you? Hi, how are you?" And then I just came from Palm Springs. It was such a good time, and then just cut it. And then the other person that all of a sudden just messaged me and with bbrt.com, literally, which literally means bareback real time, and that is a hookup app where everyone is looking for to have unprotected sex, and it is filled with drug users. So those messages, like when you don't understand indirect manipulation, you really cannot. Those messages kind of don't make sense, or they can just seem like an innocent conversation, but there is something significantly more sinister behind it. Now, keeping this in mind, all of these things that have been done. So I right now I am out of town, and this is my other house. Now, imagine if now here when I get online, because of those experiences that I had, whenever I get online, I I still have the perception that they could possibly be gang stalkers and they could possibly be trying to entice me, trying to make me waste my time. And and that's just what it feels like. So I chatted with two guys who, like, even though I didn't really plan to like go out and play, but one of them, as soon as like as we kind of we agreed on something, he kind of just he just logged off, and so it could be either that he just got busy, which is the most likely thing. But for like a couple of hours, I was actually convinced that he was a gang stalker. So now so that experience becomes the a lens through which you see future similar experiences. So like when I'm online and someone asks me, "Hey, what do you like to do?" Or if they ask me, um, let's something even an innocent like, "Hi, how are you?" Immediately my mind goes back to the experiences that I had in San Diego, and it kind of uses them as a point of reference to what is a possibility of what might happen. And since they are very fresh, it feels like, well, I'm almost convinced that that's exactly what's happening, that they are either trying to entice me back into it or make me waste my time. But the reality is that, sorry.